Bring in career trial attorney Wendy Patrick and immigration attorney Esther Valdez-Clayton. Thank you both for coming on. I want to play some sound here. This is for you, Wendy. This is Tom Homan. He was on Laura Ingram's show tonight talking about the surge being reduced. Watch.
We've achieved what we came here for. This is like any other surge operation. L.A., it ended. Los Angeles, it ended. Charlotte, it ended. New Orleans, it ended. This is ending the surge, but we're not going away. And let me say this, over 800 flights a day land in St. Paul, Minnesota. If we need to come back, we'll come back.
They might very well need to come back, Wendy Patrick, because you and I both know that the fraud's going to go back up, the crime is going to go back up, the mischief is going to go back up.
You know, Trace, that's such great points, because bringing in Tom Homan, that was a matter of both optics and tactics. I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. He hit the ground running. He was having meetings with local authorities, with Governor Walz. He really got busy. And behind the scenes, he was also building some bridges. Remember that now infamous phone call that Tim Walz made to President Trump in late January? In that call, he talked about the need to perhaps reduce the surge. And that's one of the things they've been working on ever since. Can we accomplish community safety? I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding of the mission, because they never intended to be there forever. And now you have what I suppose is some good news all around. In fact, you heard Governor Walz says, we will pack your bags, clear the streets, and drive you to the airport. But that is because Tom Homan says his mission, at least in significant part, has been accomplished.
Yeah. And while you were talking, Wendy, I was looking on the right-hand side of the screen right next to Esther, and you could see the scroll, and that is the thousands of violent criminals, people that have been disruptive. And there it is again. I mean, we, Esther Valdez-Clayton, could run that for the remainder of the show and not get the end of it. And you would think that somebody from Minnesota would say, you know what? Thank you for making this place safer. But no, 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 you're never going to get that.
And this is precisely why Operation Metro Surge was a huge win for ICE, because the American people were able to see what sanctuary city policies actually do. The chaos, the violence, the deaths of 2 American citizens were largely caused because of sanctuary city policies. And their deaths lie solely at the feet of the Democratic politicians that did not want to cooperate with ICE. All along, Tom Homan has been saying, cooperate with ICE, let us apprehend them at their place where these criminal aliens are detained. And Operation Metro Surge was a huge success, leading to the detention and the apprehension of more than 4,000 criminal aliens, as well as being able to find over 3,000 missing migrant children. That's what America needs to see in order to challenge.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing. And we're getting a little breakup. Yeah, a little breakup there on Esther. We'll get back to her in moments. I want to move on, Wendy, if I can, because I want to talk about this Canadian school shooter. Biological male, identifies as a transgender female, some history of mental problems, kills members of her family, and then 12 and 13-year-olds. It's awful, but the police feel like they have to go out of their way to make sure that this person's gender, they get it right, or at least they get it, woke.
Yeah, you know, Trace, gender identity is such a sensitive topic. I mean, we know it's linked with everything from not just motive for some type of lashing out retaliation. It's linked with bullying, with teasing, but it's also relevant in a criminal investigation. I mean, think of it. If you had an unsolved crime, you definitely want accurate information about gender identity. What if somebody looks at the TV and says, gosh, that reminds me of somebody I knew in high school, but this says a woman did it? So it's very relevant, and it's one of those things that is just hard to discuss. But as we've seen here, it may make a difference in a crime like this. Such a tragedy.
Yeah, it really is. And that's the whole thing, Esther. I wonder what your take is on this, because it's very important that you get it right. I mean, it's fine that this person identifies as whatever they want to identify. But when it comes down to the law and it comes down to somebody breaking the law, you have to go by the law. And the law says this is a biological male.
That's exactly correct. And we see the Canadian police policing their own language in hiding the evidence that's valuable to be able to find the motive as to this deadliest shooting in 30 years in Canada. They didn't even want to misgender the shooter. Instead, they wanted to use his own description from social media, saying that he himself identified as a female, when in fact we know he was an 18-year-old. And the police epically failed this 18-year-old male who suffered from gender dysphoria. They had been at his house. They had apprehended the guns. They had detained him against his will because of mental health issues. This is an epic failure, and more is yet to come. And I'm sure they're going to want to characterize this as another episode of gun violence and why they need stricter gun laws. But Canada has stricter gun laws than the United States. So that narrative also fails in this aspect as well.
Esther Valdez Clayton, Wendy Patrick, thank you both.